In the heart of the ancient world, Babylon shimmered, a city of impossible wonders, ruled by a king whose ambition touched the heavens. King Nebuchadnezzar, mighty and proud, had sculpted his power into a colossal golden statue, 90 feet high, gleaming under the Mesopotamian sun. His decree was absolute, carried on the wind to every corner of his vast empire. When you hear the sound of the horn, the flute, the lyre, and all kinds of music, you must fall down and worship the golden image. Whoever does not fall down and worship shall be cast into the midst of a burning, fiery furnace. The day of dedication arrived. The air thrummed with a nervous energy. Dignitaries, governors, and officials from every province gathered on the plain of Dura, their colorful robes a sea of humanity before the golden giant. As the first notes of the royal orchestra echoed, a wave of motion swept the crowd. Thousands upon thousands of people, from the highest noble to the humblest servant, bowed as one, their faces pressed to the dust in forced reverence. But 3 men remained standing, 3 young Hebrews, known to the Babylonians as Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. They stood not in defiance of the king, but in devotion to their God. They were men of principle, whose allegiance was to a higher throne, a law written not on stone tablets, but on their hearts. For them there was only one God worthy of worship, and he was not made of gold. Their stillness did not go unnoticed. Jealous officials, eager to find fault, rushed to the king. "O king, live forever." They began, their voices dripping with false loyalty. "There are certain Jews whom you have appointed over the affairs of the province of Babylon, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. These men, O king, pay no attention to you. They do not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up." A storm of fury gathered on Nebuchadnezzar's face. How dare they? He, the conqueror of nations, the master of the known world, defied by 3 captives? He commanded them to be brought before him. The throne room was silent, the air thick with menace. The king's eyes burned with rage as he stared them down. "Is it true," he hissed, "that you do not serve my gods or worship the golden image? I will give you one more chance. When the music plays, if you fall down and worship, all will be well. But if you do not, you shall be cast into a furnace of blazing fire. And what God is there who can deliver you out of my hands?" The threat hung in the air, a death sentence. The crowd held its breath, expecting them to crumble, to beg for mercy. But the 3 men stood tall, their expressions calm, their voices steady. Shadrach, speaking for them all, met the king's gaze. "O Nebuchadnezzar, we have no need to answer you in this matter. If this be so, our God whom we serve is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hand, O king." He paused, his next words ringing with a faith so profound it silenced the entire court. "But if not," he continued, "be it known to you, O king, that we will not serve your gods or worship the golden image that you have set up." The king's face turned purple with rage. The audacity, their unwavering conviction was an insult to his absolute power. Heat the furnace 7 times hotter than usual. He roared, his voice shaking the very foundations of the palace. The strongest soldiers in his army were summoned. Their task, to bind these 3 rebels and hurl them into the heart of the inferno. The heat from the furnace was so intense that the flames leaped out, consuming the very soldiers who threw them in. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, bound in their robes and tunics, fell into the roaring, white-hot blaze. For a moment there was only the sound of crackling fire. The case was closed. The rebellion was crushed. But then Nebuchadnezzar, who had been watching from a safe distance, leaped to his feet. His eyes were wide with disbelief, his face pale with shock. He turned to his counselors, his voice trembling. "Did we not cast 3 men bound into the fire?" They answered, "True, O king, but I see 4 men," he stammered, pointing a shaky finger toward the furnace. 4 men walking around unbound in the midst of the fire, and they are not hurt. And the appearance of the 4th is like a son of the gods. The counselors peered into the blaze, their faces a mixture of terror and awe. There, amidst the impossible heat, walked the 3 Hebrews, completely free. With them was another figure, radiating a light so pure, so brilliant, it seemed to outshine the flames themselves. It was a presence of serene power, a divine protector, walking with them in their darkest hour. Stunned into humility, Nebuchadnezzar approached the mouth of the furnace. The blistering heat washed over him, but his attention was fixed on the miracle within. "Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, servants of the Most High God," he cried out, "come out! Come here!" They walked out of the furnace, stepping back onto the cool stone floor of the court. A hush fell over the crowd as they gathered around. They stared, touched their clothes, their hair. Not a single hair on their heads was singed. Their robes were untouched by the fire, and incredibly, they did not even carry the smell of smoke. They had walked through the heart of the inferno and emerged as if from a morning stroll. Nebuchadnezzar was utterly transformed. The pride that had defined him melted away, replaced by a profound and humbling awe. He raised his hands and declared to the entire empire, "Blessed be the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, who has sent his angel and delivered his servants who trusted in him. They have defied the king's word and yielded up their bodies, rather than serve and worship any god except their own God. Therefore, I make a decree. Any people, nation, or language that speaks anything against the God of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego shall be torn limb from limb ... For there is no other God who can save in this way." This story is more than just an ancient legend. It's a timeless lesson etched in fire. It teaches us about the power of conviction, the courage to stand for truth when the world demands we bow. We all face our own fiery furnaces, moments of immense pressure, fear, and trial that test what we truly believe. The courage of these 3 men wasn't about knowing they would be saved. It was about serving God regardless of the outcome. But if not ... double quotes, those 3 words are the heart of their faith. Their trust was not in the deliverance, but in the deliverer. Their story reminds us that even when we walk through the fires of life, we do not walk alone. It challenges us to ask ourselves, what are our non-negotiables? What truths are we willing to stand for, even when it costs us everything? Because true faith isn't proven in comfort. It's forged in the fire. Thank you so much for watching. If this story moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more content that explores the depths of history and faith. We'll see you in the next one.